Hello, my name is Leah Sugarman. Welcome to your yoga practice. This class is all about arm strength, so we'll focus a lot on building strength in the arms through various practices. So to get started, find yourself in a comfortable seat. Get into a really comfortable seat that you like. Whatever it looks like, you're welcome to sit onto anything that you want to elevate your hips, or you could sit straight on the floor. Ground down into your sitting bones and lift up tall through your spine. And just pause for a moment. Take a second to just relax into your body. Find a steady breath. And if you want to, set an intention to find strength within as you prepare for this strong practice. So begin by just taking your fingertips to rest over your shoulders and just take some gentle circles. Roll your shoulders, your elbows toward the back of your mat. And just begin to link movement with breath. And then slowly reverse directions. Move your elbows toward the front of your mat now. And then relax your arms down. Again, elongate and lengthen your whole spine. Root your sitting bones into the floor. Lift up tall through the crown of your head. And then reach and extend your arms out into a T shape so that they're in line with your shoulders. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Keep them softening down to the floor. And just take little gentle pumps. Lift the backs of your hands up toward the sky. Just little pulses of your arms. Keep length in your back body and continue to pulse up and down through your arms. Again, link your movement with breath to really find that steady pace to your breathing. And let your breath become the really stable force here. Allow yourself to gain inner strength from your breath. Continue to pump your arms up and down. Continue to lengthen your back and continue to lengthen your breath. Just notice if tension starts to creak into your neck. Just keep your neck soft and relaxed. Keep your shoulders softening away from your ears. Take another 3 breaths here. And then pause, keep your arms extending out toward the side. And then slowly begin to make circles, small little circles with your arms reaching toward the back of your mat. Make them really, really small as you can. And then slowly start to make those circles a little bit bigger. And a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger. And a little bit bigger. Keep circling until you find the full rotation of your shoulder joints. And then reverse directions with your circles. Roll your arms forward. Again, find the full rotation of your shoulder joints. And slowly start to make your circles just a little bit smaller. And then a little bit smaller. Keep lengthen your spine, lengthen your breath, make your circles a little bit smaller. And a little bit smaller. Now make your circles as small as you possibly can. Find that inner strength from your breath. Take one more circle and then relax your arms down. Just shake out your shoulders, maybe shake out your neck, release any tension. Move any props over to the side if you were sitting on any, and then cross your ankles and roll forward onto all fours. And just walk your hands underneath your shoulders. So align the shoulders over the wrists, align your hips over your knees, and then tuck all 10 toes underneath. Spread your fingers wide, root down firmly into the perimeter of your palms, and gently grip at the mat with your fingertips. Three-dimensionally hug in around your waistline. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, lift your knees to hover just above the floor. Lengthen your back body, stretch the crown of your head forward, lengthen your tailbone back behind you. Stabilize your breath, keep your knees lifted from the floor. Find inner strength from the power of your own breath. Inhale deeply. Exhale, lift your hips up high. Walk your hands forward about one palm's distance. Elongate your back body into downward facing dog. And you're welcome to bend your knees here as much as you'd like. Root firmly against your hands to lift your weight out of your shoulders and send your sit bones high. On an inhale, roll your weight forward into a plank. Align your shoulders over your wrists. As you exhale, lift your hips up high into downward dog. Inhale, roll your weight forward into plank. Stack your shoulders over your wrists. Exhale, lift your hips high. Inhale, roll your weight forward. Exhale, lift your hips high. Now continue to move just like this. Follow your own rhythm of breath. Let your breath really guide the movements. And find strength from your breath. Take one more roll forward. Next time you find yourself in plank, stay there and then soften your knees to the floor. Lengthen from the crown of your head down to your knees. Hug in around your belly, three-dimensionally cinch in. On an inhale, lean your weight forward. Move your shoulders past the crease of your wrists. And then exhale, draw your weight back. Align your shoulders back over your wrists. Inhale, lean your weight forward. Exhale, draw your weight back. Inhale, lean forward. Exhale, draw back. Now continue just like this. Follow your own breath. Keep your core strong and active to support your arms so that they don't have to do all of the work to hold up the weight of your body. Take one more breath. Next time you find yourself leaning forward, stay there. Hug in around your belly and exhale, bend your elbows straight back behind you. Lower about halfway to the floor. Inhale, press the mat away. Rise back up into your modified plank. Lean your weight forward as you inhale. Exhale, bend your elbows straight back behind you. Lower about halfway down. Press the floor away and rise back up. Inhale, lean forward. Exhale, bend your elbows, lower about halfway down. Inhale, press the floor away and rise back up. Lean forward, bend your elbows, lower halfway down. Press the floor away and rise back up. Do this one more time. Inhale, lean your weight forward. Exhale, bend your elbows, lower about halfway down and hold. Soften all the way down to the floor. Untuck your toes. Press firmly into the tops of your feet. Roll your shoulders back, hug your shoulder blades together, and inhale, peel your heart forward and up off the floor. Gently press against your palms as you soften your shoulders away from your ears. Exhale, slowly release back down to the floor. Tuck your toes underneath and send your sit bones high, back up into downward facing dog. Root firmly into your hands, lift up out of your shoulders. On an inhale, sweep your right leg to the sky. As you exhale, draw your knee in toward your nose, round your back body, and shift your weight forward into plank. Stack shoulders over wrists. Option to lower your left knee down. Inhale, sweep your right leg high. Exhale, draw your knee toward your upper right arm as high as you can reach it. Reach your weight forward, stack shoulders over wrists. Inhale, sweep your right leg high. Exhale, come across your body. Draw your right knee to your upper left arm as high as you can reach. Then straighten your right leg and release the pinky side of your foot to the floor. Ground down evenly into both hands. Roll onto the big toe side of your left foot. An option to stay here or press the floor away and reach your left arm to the sky. Root down against the floor to lift your hips up high. Stabilize your breath. Take a deep inhale.
Exhale, slowly release your left arm down if it's lifted. Draw your right knee back in towards your chest. Roll to the pinky side of your left foot and stack your right foot on top. Ground down against your left hand, option to stay here or option to reach your right arm to the sky. Lift your hips high away from the floor. Stabilize your breath. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, slowly unwind. Ground your right hand, ground your right foot, and lift your hips up high into downward facing dog. Inhale deeply through your nose. Exhale, open your mouth and release a sigh. Do that one more time. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, let out a sigh. On your next inhale, sweep your left leg to the sky. And as you exhale, draw your knee in toward your nose. Round your back, shift your weight forward into plank. Option to lower your right knee down. Inhale, sweep your left leg high. Exhale, draw your left knee toward your upper left arm as high as you can reach it. Stack shoulders over wrists. Inhale, sweep your left leg high. This time, exhale, come across the body. Draw your knee toward your upper right arm as high as you can reach it. Then straighten your left leg and release the pinky toe side of your foot to the floor. Roll to the big toe side of your right foot. Option to stay here, equalize your weight in both hands, or shift your weight into your left arm as you stretch your right arm to the sky. Lift your hips up high. Inhale deeply. Exhale, if you lifted, release your right hand to the floor. Roll back onto the ball of your back foot. Draw your left knee in toward your nose, and then roll to the pinky side of your back foot to stack your left foot over on top of it. Option to stay with both hands on the floor, or press the floor away and reach your left arm to the sky. Ground down against your right hand and your right foot. Lift your hips up high. Inhale deeply. Exhale, release your left hand down if it's lifted. Release your left foot down. Lift your hips up high into downward facing dog. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, open your mouth, release it out. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, open your mouth and release. Do that one more time. And then inhale, roll your weight forward into plank. Stack your shoulders over your wrists. Exhale, lift your hips up high. Inhale, roll your weight forward. Exhale, lift your hips high. Inhale, roll your weight forward. Next time you're in plank, stay there. Option to keep both hands grounded to the floor, or shift your weight into your left hand and reach your right arm forward. As you exhale, lift your hips up high. Tap your right hand toward your left toes. Then release your hand either back to the floor, back into plank, or reaching forward. Exhale, lift your hips high. Tap your right hand toward your left toes. Inhale, reach forward either into plank or one arm plank. Exhale, lift your hips high. Tap your toes. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, lift your hips high. Inhale, come back forward. If your right hand is lifted, release it to the floor. Elongate your spine, kick back through your feet. Option to stay grounded in plank, or shift your weight into your left hand and reach your right arm forward. Inhale here. Exhale, lift your hips up high. Wherever you are, take your left hand to tap your right toes. Option to come back into plank or one-armed plank. Exhale, lift your hips high, tap your toes. Inhale, roll forward toward plank. Exhale, lift your hips high, tap your toes. Inhale, roll forward into plank. Exhale, lift your hips, tap your toes. Inhale, roll forward. One more time. Exhale, lift your hips, tap your toes. Inhale, roll forward, and if your left arm is lifted, release it to the floor. Elongate your spine. Option to lower your knees down. Inhale deeply here. As you exhale, lower your right forearm to the floor, followed by your left. And then press your right palm into the floor, followed by your left. Lower your left forearm to the floor, followed by your right. Then press into your left palm, and then into your right. Softly release both forearms down to the floor, and find yourself in a forearm plank. So readjust your stance however you need to. Kick back through your heels, stretch the crown of your head forward, hug in around your belly and root down against your forearms. Option to lower one or both knees to the floor. Stabilize your breath. Find your inner strength from your breath. If your knees are lowered, lift them now, and then lift your hips up high. Tiptoe to walk your feet in closer toward your forearms. Option to bend your knees as much as you'd like to here. Relax the weight of your head to look back toward your feet. Root firmly into your forearms, lift up out of your shoulders. Option to stay as you are, or option to sweep your right leg to the sky. Square your hips to the floor, point your toes directly to the mat. Root evenly into both forearms. If your right leg is lifted, slowly release it back down. Option to lift your left leg to the sky. Inwardly spiral your thigh bone, point your toes to the floor, root firmly into your forearms. If your left leg is lifted, slowly release it back down. Stabilize your breath. And then softly release your knees to the floor, untuck your toes, relax the weight of your upper body forward and down over your legs. Release your forehead toward the floor. You're welcome to release your arms by your sides. Soften into your arms and your shoulders for a moment. Restore a nice, slow, steady breath. And you're more than welcome to stay here as you are, or if you have it in you to take a little bit more action through your arms, then reach your arms forward in front of you, spread your fingers, ground down through your palms, lift up into a tabletop position, tuck your toes underneath, and send your sitting bones high back into downward facing dog. On an inhale, sweep your right leg to the sky. Bend deeply into your knee and open your hip. Reach your right knee up toward the ceiling. Draw your right heel toward your left sitting bone. Now you're more than welcome to stay here, or you could release the ball of your right foot behind your left knee. Pivot on your left foot and ground down into the floor. Root down into your left hand to lift your hips and lift your right arm off the floor. Peel open your chest as you swing your right arm up above your head. Lift your hips up high as you root down against the mat. Inhale deeply here. And as you exhale, slowly unwind if you lifted. Return back into a downward facing dog. Inhale, roll your weight forward into plank. Exhale, lift your hips up high. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, lift your hips. One more time. Inhale, roll your weight forward. Exhale, lift your hips high. Inhale, sweep your left leg to the sky. Bend your knee deeply and exhale, open your hip. Send your left knee toward the ceiling. Draw your left heel toward your right sitting bone. Now you're more than welcome to stay here, or release the ball of your left foot behind your right knee. Spin on your right foot and ground your whole foot down to the floor. Root down against your right hand and your right foot to lift your hips up high and sweep your left arm up over your head. Draw your shoulder blades together, ground down against the floor to lift your hips a little bit higher. Stabilize your breath here. Can you find strength from your breath? Inhale deeply. If you've flipped over, exhale, slowly release your left hand back down and release your hips up to the sky, back into downward facing dog. Root firmly into your palms, lift up out of your shoulders. Stabilize your breath, and then slowly release your knees to the floor. Untuck your toes, release your seat onto your heels, or if this is not comfortable, you can sit in any comfortable seated position. Lift up tall through your back body, soften and relax your shoulders away from your ears. And then stretch your right arm forward in front of you so it's roughly in line with your shoulder. Flip your palm to face up toward the sky, and then take your left hand to catch a hold of your fingers and gently draw them down toward the floor. Press out through the heel of your hand. Inhale deeply. Exhale, gently release your arm and switch sides. Send your left arm out in line with your shoulder. Flip your palm to face up toward the sky, and then use your right hand to catch a hold of your fingers and gently draw them down toward the floor. Press the heel of your left hand forward. Inhale deeply. Exhale, gently release. From your inhale, sweep your right arm to the sky. Bend your elbow and walk your hand down your back. Use your left hand to catch a hold of your right elbow and hug your arm into the midline of your body. Press the weight of your head back against your arm. Option to stay as you are or reach your left arm back behind you. Turn your palm to face the back of your mat and then bend your elbow and slide your hand up your back. And you're welcome to hold on to your shirt, or if it's available to you, you could interlace your fingers. Now, if you take this option, keep your spine elongated. Press the back of your head against your right arm and press your ribs against your left arm. Inhale deeply. Exhale to gently release. Switch sides, stretch your left arm up toward the sky. Bend your elbow and walk your hand down your back. And then use your right hand to catch a hold of your elbow. Gently draw it in toward the midline of your body and press the weight of your head back against your arm. And you're more than welcome to stay like this, or reach your right arm back behind you, turn your palm to face the back of your mat, and then slide your hand up your back body to either hold on to your shirt or interlace your fingers. So again, focus on keeping a lot of length in your spine. Press your head against your left arm, and if your right arm is behind you, press your lower ribs against it. Inhale deeply. Exhale to gently release your arms. Release your hips over to one side and stretch your legs forward in front of you. And then bend your knees to plant your feet on the floor, roughly hip distance apart. Take your hands back behind your hips, and you can point your fingers in any direction that you like. They could point back to the back of your mat. You could point them to the sides of the mat, or you could point them forward towards your feet. And then roll your shoulders down your back. Hug your shoulder blades toward each other and puff up your chest. Move your heart toward your thighs. Option to stay here just like this, or option to press evenly into your feet and your hands to lift your hips up off the floor. Focus on broadening your chest. Expand and open your heart center. Hug your shoulder blades together. And then you're welcome to stay like this, or if you want to, you can lean the weight of your hips toward your knees and even release your hips back down toward the floor to broaden and expand your chest a little bit more. So wherever you choose to be, just focus on your breath. Expand and open your heart. And if your hips are lifted, on your next exhale, slowly release them to the floor. Gently lean your weight forward and release your hands from behind you. Come back into any comfortable seated position that you like. So the same place where you started your practice. Just pause for a moment, relax your shoulders. Maybe take a moment to soften your gaze or close your eyes and just observe any changes that your practice may have created today. Bring your palms together at your heart. And gently bow your chin toward yourself. Give thanks for your incredible body that works so hard. Thank you for sharing your practice. I'll see you next time.